You guys know what just happened in Saudi Arabia about pageantry? A clue is Miss Universe. Yes. So Saudi Arabia has officially joined the pageant world. So this is amazing. This is a great news, not only for the Middle East, but I think for the entire world or universe or whatever you call it. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 reasons why the Middle East is transitioning into pageantry. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Oliver Nakakande and I'm so happy to have you back. Well, if you're new here on this channel, feel at home and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on what we're going to be sharing next. So like I said, in today's video, I'm over the moon for Saudi Arabia. I am so happy that Saudi is actually taking the pageant journey, and I'm really excited to share with you the 10 reasons why I personally believe that this Middle Eastern region is transitioning into pageantry. Now, we do have a few countries that are already taking part into Miss World, Miss Universe. For example, Lebanon, which is our first runner-up, Lebanon is taking part into Miss World and Miss Universe, as you already know. And Iraq just, had their first Miss World representative this year. So that was amazing news. Now we do have Tunisia is considered to be a part of like the MENA region, so like Middle East and North Africa. So yeah, that region as well. So MENA region, we do have Tunisia coming in. They've been taking part into pageantry. So I really love to see these women taking on the stage, and I hope to see more countries actually taking over like pageantry. Well, this video I'm going to be sharing with you 10 reasons why I believe the Middle East is now transitioning and opening up to pageantry. Okay, let me first give you a bit of flashback into what's actually happening in Saudi Arabia. Okay, so over the few years, past years, not too long ago, Saudi has been transitioning. Well, if you don't know, I live in the Middle East. I do live in Dubai right now, in the UAE. Yeah, some people know Dubai as a country. Dubai is just a city. UAE is the country. So I live in the UAE, which is very close to Saudi Arabia. So I have been literally following the news into, the Middle East, what's happening in Saudi, in Oman, in Bahrain, and all that. So I'm well versed with what's happening around this region, right? So Saudi Arabia itself has been doing so well in kind of like transitioning into technology, into their education, into women empowerment. I remember so well when Saudi Arabia first gave a chance to women to drive. First of all, I was like, what? They were not driving this entire time? But then I was like, wow, they're actually doing so well, because it was something they were not doing before. Now they're opening their eyes to it, and they're open to letting women drive. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing news. And I think it also comes back to the fact that there was a little bit of change in power, or like the politicians or the people in charge of the country. I believe also the influence of the young generation ideas. I think the people who are in charge right now are a little bit younger, and they are seeing the world in a different, perspective. So I think it has something to do with that. And that being said, I cannot wait to visit Saudi Arabia. Like, I cannot wait to visit Saudi Arabia, because right now I feel like I should go to Saudi Arabia. That being said, I also thought about maybe considering even moving to Saudi, because it's literally changing and evolving at a very fast pace, and I'm loving it. So this move into pageantry, they recently announced, they're going to be taking part into Miss Universe. I am so over the moon. The lady looks amazing, and I cannot wait to see how they are going to represent, themselves. So here are the reasons why I think, the Middle East in general is transitioning into pageantry. Number one is cultural evolution. Well, like I said before, the Middle Eastern population right now, it has a lot of younger influencers or influence into politics, into royal families, that are actually changing the way that this whole country or cultures are perceived. So I think these people are giving, pageantry and so many other things a chance, and they're like, why not? As long as it's actually good for their tourism and stuff like that. So as long as they're not doing anything that is against their beliefs, you know what I mean? Yeah. So this evolution into having the younger generation making decisions, I feel like this is the reason why we're actually taking a step into stuff like pageantry. Number 2, women empowerment. Yes, 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 yes. Like I told you, Saudi not recently, a few years back, they started allowing women to drive, and women got their driver's license, and women are literally taking over the world. Women are, women empowerment campaigns around the world, across social media, everywhere, are really, really strong, and every country must listen. So who could ever thought before that Saudi would actually listen? But they are listening, right? Because now they are making their women present and represent the country with the Saudi flag, and they say, hey, women in Saudi are actually living it up, and they are not being whatever you used to hear about Saudi, women are being mistreated, and all that. Women are now standing up and actually showing their true side of the story, which I feel like we needed this whole time. Okay, so point number 3 is globalization, right? So the Middle East, in case you don't know, people here are so well connected to the internet. People are so well versed with technology, and people know exactly what's going on in terms of exposure, global trends, and whatever. So globalization is taking over by force, by storm. So we cannot leave the Middle East out of that. So I know maybe many of you saw this as a surprise, but yeah, it's actually reflecting on Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is responding positively with globalization. So giving women a chance to represent them on a global stage, on the universe stage, on Miss World stage, this is a sign. And what better way to actually say, yes, we are listening, than actually giving women a chance? I feel like this is actually a very, very successful, beautiful, amazing step they have taken into pageantry. Okay, so number 4 is diversity and inclusion. This comes back to the pageant organizers. So the fact that these countries recognize that pageantry is all about diversity and inclusion, and it showcases different cultures and backgrounds of different nations and countries. I feel like countries are now opening it up to actually say, okay, we would love to take part into that, because we are going to be showcasing our cultures and maybe promote tourism in a way. And I feel like it's really, really good. Imagine being on a stage where you can see some people from Africa, Middle East, Asia, and Europe, and all over the world. That's what pageantry is all about. And I feel like Middle East is now hearing and listening and actually saying, yes, we are going to give you our representatives. Okay, so point number 5 is social media influence. Guys, we cannot skip this one. Social media has played a very, very important role in promotion of whatever. So you take it from social media. You either take the positive or the negative. You pick up what you want to take. But when I talk about all these causes like women empowerment, when women are striking about what's going on in their lives, they go and strike on social media. With whatever issues that are going on in the world, you reflect everything on social media. So the influence and the power that social media has, we cannot underlook it. So definitely social media influence has done so well. I think especially from the past few pageants, the Middle Eastern representatives have been doing so well. I think we had our Miss Bahrain Universe present the other year for the first time. And I think that was also great news for the Middle East and an eye-opener. And then having Miss Lebanon being first runner-up at Miss World recently, that was like a huge, huge eye-opener for the people in the Middle East. And I think that's why they're, saying we need to do something about this. We need to actually send in more countries and represent the Middle East. Right. Okay, so point number 6 is rise of beauty standards. Well, this is a very beautiful point, because right now there is some kind of push towards embracing authenticity and cultural heritage. So when it comes to Saudi Arabia, they've been known before to be very conservative, and they have a lot of, their culture and stuff that they respect and love so much, which maybe in the past didn't resonate so well with pageantry. But when you get to understand what pageantry advocates for, then you do understand that this is exactly what they do. So they explain beauty standards in a way that is more inclusive and embracing of what you truly are. You don't have to change anything to represent your country. This is what pageantry is talking about. And I feel like Saudi Arabia and the Middle East is listening to this and saying, okay, we are willing to give you our representatives. And I'm so excited. Point number 7 is the focus on talent and advocacy. Well, as you already know, pageantry, or advocates for beauty with a purpose, social issues, humanitarian causes around the world, you name it, whatever is going on. So I feel like the Middle East is also listening now and saying that, okay, we need our women to actually represent, the social causes that are happening in our countries and talk about them on a world stage. And I feel like this is the biggest reason why actually any country should join pageantry, because this is where the advocacy comes in, and this is where people around the world are going to hear about what's actually happening in your country, right? So well done again, Saudi Arabia, and I'm really, really hoping to see more countries in the Middle East open up and join pageantry. Okay, so point number 8 is government support. So like I said, now some governments in the Middle East are now open to supporting pageantry and pageant causes. Like in the past, it was not like that. It was like a competition into power, something that people didn't actually quite understand. I'll give you an example to this at the end of the video, what I actually mean in this point. But now having younger leaders, visionary leaders who are open to, opportunities like pageantry and see the positives more than the negatives. So it's all about the government to say, okay, we are going to give you a chance. We are going to say, okay, our girl should represent. So I feel like the government support right now is changing positively, and that's why we're getting to see more representatives from the Middle East. Point number 9 is entrepreneurship opportunities. We all know, of course, beauty pageants are more like having the United Nations, but for beauty and advocacy. So all the countries around the world come in and, showcase what they have, showcase their advocacies as well. So which creates a lot of opportunities, not only for their ESG, the social causes, but also creates a lot of opportunities for the country as well, for the girl, the representative as well. So it's a win-win situation for all of it. And not forgetting that these opportunities, for countries to take part into pageantry, you create opportunities for, like talent agencies, designers, sponsors, everyone that would come on board to support, your queen in representing the country. So well done again, Saudi Arabia. Okay, so the last point why I feel like Saudi or the Middle East is now transitioning into pageantry is that they're recognizing the power of community engagement. And this is what pageantry comes down to. Again, back to advocacy, community engagement, talking about social issues in the community and, supporting local NGOs. Pageantry plays a huge role. And not to forget that there's so many people around the world that actually believe and support pageantry so much. Imagine sometimes you can set up your own foundation without having a backup of pageantry, and you might be less likely to have people believe that you're actually doing something good. But if you go on a global stage and actually talk about it, and you get the entire world saying, yes, we're behind you, we're rooting for you, and we're willing to support your cause, it makes a huge difference. So well done again, Saudi Arabia. And I hope, like I said, I hope to see many more countries join pageantry. On the last point that I wanted to make was about, the government support. I feel like more governments should actually open up and support pageantry. Stop looking at it as a means of like it's a fight into power, and the woman having the crown on their head is like the queen of the country. She's not the queen of the country. She's just a representative of the country and actually representing the social causes that are affecting women, children, and everyone at large. So pageantry, again, is a very, very beautiful thing, and well done, Saudi Arabia. Congratulations. And I can't wait. I hope we do have a Miss World UAE or Miss Universe UAE. By the way, that was gonna happen, but still it didn't happen. Still, I think they're still working on it. But anyways, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if I missed anything, or if there are any other comments or reasons that you think pageantry is transitioning into the Middle East. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's a good idea that pageantry is here in the Middle East, or you think it might not work out? Let me know. Again, subscribe and leave a comment. I'll see you in the next video.